Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. My name's Kevin Dexter, joined, as always, by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride women's soccer team, Simon Riddiough. Coach, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks, Kevin. Just okay.
Well, rough weekend for your team this weekend. 2 losses on the road at ODU on Friday, then a real tough one on Sunday against William and Mary. What is your overall impressions on what kind of went wrong this weekend for your team?
Hey, it's a tough one. We played Old Dominion and they came with a defensive strategic plan. And I thought we played really well, especially the first half. And we controlled pretty much the proceedings, and I was really happy with the performance going in at half-time. I told them we have to be careful not to give them a chance. This type of team, if you give them some belief, they're going to start believing and coming back at us. And unfortunately, from the kick-off, we gave them a really soft goal. An individual error gave them an opening, and fair play to Old Dominion, they capitalised. Then it was always going to be a battle, and we made it into a much more physical game than we needed to. And you've got to credit their team. They were organised, they worked hard, they put some belief in what they were doing. Then they got a second goal, which again we felt was soft from our perspective, another individual error. And you know, we say this all the time, you cannot afford to have mental lapses or give easy goals at this level. And in this conference, teams are going to capitalise, and that's exactly what Old Dominion did.
Going into the road trip, of course, William and Mary on Sunday was going to be a battle for first place and pretty much who was going to host the tournament. Did you see Old Dominion on Friday night as a little bit of a trap game? Can you put any solace into that you were looking maybe a little bit ahead to William and Mary, or were you focused on ODU and they just outplayed you?
Yeah, we spoke about it. We spoke about it being a trap game, and we've done a very good job historically not getting involved in these trap games. We've always done a job of taking care of business. If we are the better team, we tend to win. And for 75% of that game, we did that, and I was really impressed with the way we played. It was, for 45 minutes, it was probably our best performance all year. So it's unfair to call it a trap game. It's just unfortunate. It's women's soccer. You dominate. You don't put the second ball in the net. That second goal gives you a bit of ease. I would guarantee if we'd have scored a second goal, we'd have got 3 or 4. Unfortunately, we didn't, and Old Dominion kept fighting away and found a way to get back in the game, and you've got to credit them for that effort. And it is what it is, and we just have to move on from that game.
Well, William and Mary on Sunday, you get the early goal again, and you let them come back with a couple goals in the second half, especially one with 3 minutes left, and they win it in double overtime. And a game that you knew was going to be for first place, probably end up being for the conference championship. How do you, one, put it into perspective that you played them so tight, but 2, how disheartening was a loss the way it came?
Well, in hindsight, it wasn't as bad as we thought. We said, regardless of the result, Old Dominion, we're still in the same position. We're still in control of our destiny. Right? If we win against William and Mary and take care of North Eastern at home, we will be the top seed. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. We started off very well and played some fantastic soccer, and we took the lead on a well-worked goal, and things were looking good, and then unfortunately we had a player sent off. And when you get a player ejected with 20 minutes in the game, we had to play 70 minutes a man down. And you can't do that against a good team like William and Mary. And for spells they dominated, and we hung in, and we kept a really tight game plan, and we forced them into mistakes. And unfortunately, we finally started tiring on the second day of the weekend against a very good William and Mary, and they found a way to capitalise later in the game. And at 2-2 going into overtime, you sort of knew with 10 men playing with a man down for that length of time that we were going to wilt, and we were just hoping that we could find a way to get out of it. And it wasn't meant to be. I've got to credit the team. They were really fantastic in how they applied themselves. We didn't feel sorry for ourselves because we were a man down. We didn't, cry about it. We got on with the game, and we executed very well. It was just not meant to be, and you got to, it is what it is.
Can you really put into perspective how much it meant to lose, especially a player like Britt Marling with the red card and not having her, especially on Wednesday now coming up in her senior day game?
Yeah, she means a lot to this program. She's matured tremendously over the 4 years at Hofstra, 4.5 now. She's a fantastic kid, and she wears her emotions on her sleeves. She's aggressive, to put it mildly. She has some anger management issues. And sometimes that boils over, but you try and curtail that, and she's not the player she is if she softens that attitude. So she lives by the sword and she dies by the sword, and unfortunately she did this weekend. I felt the referee made a terrible call to send her off. I've never seen a call like that ever in my life. It was a particularly really soft call. But unfortunately, when you leave yourself that opportunity to be red carded, some people will make that decision. It's disappointing for her. She means a lot to us. We were saddened the fact that she won't play this Wednesday. But she'll be there supporting. She wants the team to do well. And she was more upset than anybody on Sunday. She feels she let everybody down, and that's fair for her to feel that way, but it's unfair that the referee made that decision, not her. So, she's a great ambassador, and I'm sure she'll be back for playoffs.
Well, there's a multitude of different scenarios for your team now, sitting in a large tie for third place at 6-3. Drexel just ahead of you at 6-1, and then William and Mary up top at 7-2. There's a small chance by the third tiebreaker that there's a chance that you could still be the top seed, but more likely you'll end up with a win as a 2 seed or possibly as a 3 and the 4 if a couple other teams win. How much do you pay attention to what the other teams are doing in those games? You're just trying to take care of business and see what happens, or is there an ideal scenario? You want to be the 2 seed, or you want to be the 3 or 4, or you kind of just don't pay attention to that?
I'm a soccer coach, Kevin, and that's a lot of statistics. So if I start thinking about statistics, I'm going to get lost pretty easy. All I do know is if we win, we'll be a 2nd or 3rd seed. To be a 2nd seed, we need Delaware to beat Drexel or tie Drexel. To be a top seed, we need Delaware to beat Drexel, tie Drexel, and William and Mary to lose to Old Dominion. And then I don't know.
You need to win by a big margin.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the goal differential. So you've got to kind of take that out of the equation. We're basically going for 2nd seed now. If we can beat Northeastern, who are in the same boat as us, they beat us, they could be 2nd seed. We'll be able to take a break this week and then kind of refocus and use the playoffs as a 2nd season.
Well, Senior Day also coming up on Wednesday, so before we talk a little bit about the game, talk a little bit about the seniors and what you're going to be missing with them in their final home, or possibly their final home game. You still have a chance to have one in the tournament, but their official Senior Day on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's an interesting class because we've got a couple of red shirts thrown in there. We've got some 5th years who played other sports. Just to talk about individually, Nicole Chappell's going to be a super senior, but she's coming back next year, so she's not going to get honoured. Brooke Bendenagel got honoured last year because she was a super senior, so she's not going to get honoured. The 3 who are going to get honoured are Amanda Heidi, who played field hockey goalkeeper for 4 years. She's been a breath of fresh air. She's come in with a different perspective, with a different comparison to how her first 4 years of college was to what this year is, and it's been good for our ladies to see. And she's been leading as much as possible. She's been a counsellor for some players, and she's been fantastic to have. And then we've got Kylie Schuster, who unfortunately tore ACL at the beginning of the year. She's done 3 ACL injuries now. She loves to talk. She's stepped up, and she understands that her role this year was not to participate, unfortunately, but she's done whatever she can to lead. She's been a mentor, she's been positive, she's talking to individuals, she's doing whatever she can to make this team better, and a lot of times that's what makes the team special. We can talk about the Leah Galtons, the Amber Stubbs, the Emily Moore, you can talk about special players, but unfortunately those aren't the ones that win your championships, it's the players behind the scene. And Kylie Schuster's been an epitome of that. And then we've got Britt Marling, a similar personality mold to Brooke, anger management issues, but she's been a tremendous player for us, and I felt more sorry for her on Sunday than anybody because she took it upon herself to be our leader on Sunday, and she got the potential game-winning goal. She was winning tackles, she was winning headers, she was pretty much doing everything possible to keep this team out, and unfortunately they found a way through. So she's coming back next year. So we're honouring her because she is a senior. She wants to be honoured with her class. But we're happy to have her back. She's maturing nicely, and I'm sure next year she'll become a fantastic leader for us.
Well, Coach, Wednesday afternoon is going to be a 3:30 start here at home against Northeastern. All you really can control is going out there and getting a win in terms of your seeding. So what do you need to do to get that win on Wednesday?
Again, it's like anything. We've got to give 110% physically, emotionally, more important mentally. Thought that's probably what let us down against Old Dominion. We lacked a bit of focus in the second half. It's got to be a 90-minute game. I'm coming up with all sorts of cliches right now, but they're a good team, and you've got to stop their tool forwards. Got a really good attacking midfield who I really admire as a player, and they've got solid defensive duties and a fantastic goalkeeper. They're going to be tough. Northeastern's always a battle. Back in the days when we played in the American East and played these games up in November in freezing cold weather. Tracy's done a fantastic job. She's a breath of fresh air in our conference. She's super optimistic. She's fantastic to talk to. And she'll get the team ready to go. And they're fighting for second seed like us, so it's going to be a real battle.
All right, well, Coach, good luck on Wednesday. And Coach Riddiough squad again taking on the Northeastern Huskies Wednesday afternoon. It's going to be a 3:30 start at Hofstra Soccer Stadium, so make sure to come out and support the Pride. Coach, thanks a lot for the time and best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to the WV Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com.